So I think it would be relevant eventually to...
I agree, but not at this meeting.
Yeah.
John.
Dr. Fenno, I enjoyed your talk. At the first, you said that you adhered to the AAP guidelines except for 2 points. I didn't quite catch what those 2 were.
To perform MRI and a sleep study.
Okay, and how do you differ?
No, because we couldn't do in every country with the good quality and safety to the patient.
Okay.
So recommend in our country, not in my hospital, I could do that, I can do that, but in the rest of the country, no. So we recommend to take care of clinical and do the follow-up and refer to the specialist as soon as they can.
Yes, please. Yes.
We read a lot. Sorry, we read a lot about sudden death, and how should I ask Julie? How should we address that, or should we not address families to sudden death?
Of the possibility of sudden
Yes.
death when they read it and see it online? Well, I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, we hope to avoid it by doing the surveillance that we do and seeing them as soon as possible. People do bring it up. They see it in statements and they see it as possible, but that's the whole reason for seeing them and trying to do the surveillance as early as we can.
Julie,
that's not a very complete answer, but
Julie, am I
that's what we
correct
try.
in saying that from your data, the relative risk of sudden death of a child with achondroplasia in the first 5 years is somewhere between 40? The relative risk?
In the most recent mortality one that we did, I believe that is for standardized. I believe that's the rate. But we also don't know the cause as well. Jackie and I were talking about that. That's one of the big shortcomings of the mortality study. We don't have a great means in the United States to clearly ascertain why the person died at any age. Unfortunately, many times in the death registry that we use in the United States, it says cardiopulmonary failure. And not to be flippant about it, but that's how everyone dies. And that's what's written, unfortunately, many times in the registry that we use.
MRI imaging is the best standard for imaging and to identify issues with foramen magnum and other neurological issues. But when writing the new guidelines, you must give a plan B for places where you won't have MRI available. So you must give some guidance for those places. That's why what I meant yesterday, to do something that is globally and easily applicable.
Absolutely. I think we all took that message on because, and maybe something that may come from this is that we will have a gold standard statement, but we will also have another statement that may be a default position, because for people that don't have that, we have to give them something practical. It can't be all or nothing. So in my opinion, I think we also need to do that. Please, Keiichi.
We think that sudden death is related to of course, the CNS function, but also that the pulmonary hypertension and the right heart failure. Right heart failure is very tough to detect by the clinical symptoms. So if we detect that or suspect pulmonary hypertension, we should do the ultrasound of heart. But it seems odd. The pulmonary hypertension is mentioned in our clinical guidelines, and we look at the literature describing the pulmonary hypertension in achondroplasia, but not so good literature we found.
Jeff.
I guess more of a question, and that is for people who do routine MRI scanning. It looks like a lot of people do it in the neonatal period, and the foramen magnum is a bit of a dynamic structure in the first 3 years of life. And so, how predictive is an MR on a newborn in terms of the likelihood they're going to develop problems of the foramen magnum?